Hello. In the previous lecture, I had discussed some of the nuances of Marxist theory in my lecture of Marxism Part 2, where I had already discussed the modes of production. I had discussed the development of the historical materialism, and then I had told you how the class struggle began and what will occur at the end of the class struggle. I am not going to detailing on these things because I have already told all these things in my previous lecture. If you want to know all about this, you have to go back to my part 2 lecture. And now I am going to discuss in this video particularly two theories given by Karl Marx. One is alienation theory, which is one of the most important theory in the socio-psychological level at the one hand, and obviously on the other hand in the Marxist theory. In Marxist theory, the socio-psychological aspect of alienation has been taken in a different way. Karl Marx has molded it in a different way. First, and while I will talk about this alienation theory, automatically the theory of surplus value will come. Now, what is the theory of surplus value and how it is important to know the exploitation of the laborers in a factory? That is very important. And so in this very short lecture, I will discuss these two things. One is alienation effect and surplus value. And while I will discuss alienation effect, automatically surplus value will come to it. So I am not making any kind of deviation between alienation effect and surplus value. Both are very closely related. So start our journey with alienation effect. Fundamentally, alienation is a psychological and existential term, which means someone who is dissociated from or alienated from either his or her own being, or from the nature, or from the world, or from the other people. So alienation talks about a kind of disassociation from the others. Karl Marx has used this fundamentally psychological and existential theory or word or the term alienation in order to show that in the capitalist modes of production, how the laborers are alienated in three ways, in three angles. First, the laborers are alienated from themselves. The laborers are alienated from the produced materials, the things that they are producing. How the laborers are alienated from the other laborers. So these are the three ways of their actual alienation that Karl Marx is projecting. Marxism tells us that capitalism thrives on exploiting the laborers. If we look at the Industrial Revolution, it can be seen as a milestone. Before the high flourishment of the Industrial Revolution, the laborers used to work in the factories, and by their own hands they used to produce the materials. So as a result, there was a kind of emotional bonding between the laborers and the produced materials they are creating, they are producing in the factories by their own hands, because at that time there was not a kind of flourishment of technology. So the emotional bonding was there, and the laborers could say that, look, this doll is made by me, I am its creator. They could say, look, these produced materials are made by me. I have created this particular thing by my own hand. But Industrial Revolution changed many things. With the flourishment of technology and with the high flourishment of Industrial Revolution, those hands of the laborers were cut off. Metaphorically, their hands were cut off. They had become almost only a mere instructors of machines. Daily their routines were to switch on the machines, to switch off the machine, switch on the machine and switch off the machine. Meaning they were also dehumanized. They were also almost transformed into some machines, like those passive machines. In this way, the capitalist economic system forces the workers to feel that they do not have any rights to the things they have produced. In this way, there is a kind of gap between the laborers, the workers and their produced materials began. This is the one type of alienation. First, the workers are alienated from the materials that they have produced, from the goods that they have produced, from the things that they have created in the factories. This is one type of alienation. The alienation of the workers, of the laborers from their produced materials. Not only this, in capitalism, the laborers are also alienated from their own self, from their own being. But how? How this happens? In a factory, in order to make some material, some goods, some things, the owner of the factories have to buy something. What are these? They have to buy some raw materials. They have to buy some tools, some machines. And the raw materials and the tools and the machines cannot make those goods without laborers. But the laborers, on the other hand, meaning the part of the proletariat, they have nothing. That's why they are called have-not. They have not that capital to buy the raw materials, to buy the means of production. As a result, they have to sell their labor power. They were forced to sell their labor power to the owner of the factories. And the owner of the factories are buying those labor powers by giving a little amount of salary. This salary is called wage, W-A-G-E, wage in capitalism. So this wage is not at all enough for the labor power that they are selling to, they are forced to sell to the owners of the factories. As a result, we can say if wage is money, and by that money, the owner of the factories are buying the raw materials, are buying the tools. In the same way, by the use of that money, they are buying the labor powers. So if the raw materials is a commodity, if the tools are commodities, then the labor power has also become a commodity. So the wage or the laborers have been translated, labor power has been translated into money. The labor power has been transformed into commodity. Here comes the theory of surplus value. Actually, this theory of surplus value was initially cited by the British economist David Ricardo. Karl Marx took the theory from Ricardo. He expanded it in the economical structure of a state, in the modes of production. And from that time, in Marxism, surplus value has become one of the most important theory. What is that? In a factory, the laborers are working with their labor powers. And they are taking from their owners, from the owners of the factories, two things. One is the raw materials, another is the tools. So with the use of the raw materials and the tools, and by putting their total effort, total labor, they are producing the goods. So when the materials are produced, when the goods are produced in the factory, they are going to be sold in the market. Suppose in a factory, in a doll making factory, the laborers are working. In a single day, they can produce 100 dolls. And they are using the raw materials and the tools given by those owners of the factories. And the expense of the raw materials and the tools are something, suppose suppose 20 rupees. And the capitalists or the owners are giving the wages to the laborers 20 rupees. Now they are, with their effort, with their skillful labor, they are creating $100. Those $100 are sold in the market. When those $100 are sold in the market, the owner is getting 100 rupees, total 100 rupees. Now what were the expense? Expense was 20 for the raw materials and the tools and 20 for the wages to the laborers, meaning 40 rupees. So if we minus these 40 rupees from the total 100 income, then the profit is 60 rupees. This profit is called surplus value. This surplus money or this surplus value or this profit is made not only by the owner. The owner is contributing the raw materials, the owner is contributing the tools, and at the same time, if we look at the laborers are contributing their skill, their effort. Yes, you can say that laborers are given money, their salary, their wage, but they are getting their wage only for their time. They are working for 8 hours. They are given that money for the time they are working, not for their effort, not for their skill. So they are also contributing in that profit. But that entire profit of 60 rupees, that surplus value, was reaped by the capitalist, the owner. The immediate result is a kind of double alienation. Now the workers have become dehumanized. They were put into that category that your labors are nothing but which we can buy with the help of money. So money can buy, the force of money, the power of money can buy your labor. So you are also a commodity like the raw materials, like the tools. Meaning you are not human, you are also the commodity. This is what is called the dehumanized effect of the capitalist modes of production. Human beings, meaning the laborers, are not at all humans in this capitalist mode of production, capitalist system of production. They are dehumanized. So dehumanized means the laborers are now alienated from their humanity, from their human self. If we look at our condition at this time, now the entire world is living in multinational capitalism or late capitalism. In this particular scenario, within 100 laborers, within 100 workers, 70 workers are put into the advertising. So there was no connection between the production system and the laborers. Among the laborers, there was no connection. There is no connection among the laborers. One laborer does not know about another laborer. One worker does not know about another worker. Once again, this is another type of alienation. The alienation between one laborer to another laborer, between one worker to another worker. So these are the three layers of alienation. Alienation of the workers from the materials, the goods that they are producing. The alienation of the workers from their own self, human self, they have become dehumanized. The alienation of one worker from other workers. This is the theory of alienation given by Karl Marx. There are so many critical aspects of it. I am not entering into that because I am trying to make this particular theory very lucid for you, very simple for you. However, this process of alienation is not only limited to the laborers, not at all. This capitalist mode of production, this system of production, creates or generates a kind of view in the world that talks about, focuses on profit, only profit. And in this profit-making system throughout the world, we all are alienated. Not only the laborers, not only the workers in the factory, but we all are alienated because we all are in this system of production. We all are alienated from ourselves. We all are alienated from others. So this is all about alienation theory and in a very little way the theory of surplus value. If you have any difficulty in understanding these two issues, then you can ask me questions in the comment box.